get rid of it, right? So is he dumb and just fell backwards in it, or is he like Lord Nefarious? Is he setting us up for Citrix 2.0? And so that is the big question here. Are we just naively going through the motions for the next 2 or 3 years and we're going to be back where we are? So let's look at what his case was about. In the beginning, and this is kind of where you have to figure out what is he doing. In the beginning, his claim was buyers' agents get paid by buyers, sellers' agents get paid by sellers, and there should be no commingling whatsoever of that. Buyers have to pay their side, sellers have to pay their side, nobody can pay each other's. And unfortunately, the Department of Injustice, also known as your DOJ, they seem to go along with this stupidity. I don't know whether somebody finally grabbed them and said, you do realize that we won't have real estate anymore if we do this. There'll be no first-time home buyers. There'll be no minority buyers. We're going to have no fair housing. This is going to be the end of real estate. So I don't know whether they just figured this out on their own or not. But if you look at where they started with that and look at where we finished, where did we finish? You can advertise anywhere you want in this world. Just don't do it on the MLS. We're going to play hide and seek, and we got to figure out how much money you owe me. Because, in South Carolina, we used to have this crazy law we amended. Real estate teams couldn't use the word real estate, realty, or realtor in your name because we don't want people to know what we do for a living. So it was the Gary Pickering team that sells improvements upon land that may have a value to it.com. But that's what we did. So we had these stupid ass laws. And this was one of them. So no more MLS. Lord forbid, we tell people what we're going to charge. And so when you look at this, you have to ask yourself, did anything structurally change all of this crap? And when you look at that, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, and maybe that's why he's Lord Nefarious. Maybe he, giving him a benefit of the doubt here, is smarter than all of us. I don't believe that. But he's figured out he's just going to set everybody up for another lawsuit. So maybe he is Lord Nefarious. What we do know is that Leo and eXp leadership shocked the world after this came out. Shocked the world. It shocked me. I was like, what the hell is Leo doing? But it brings us back to this question. What is it that Ketchmark did? What was the original premise in this case? And how did he figure it out? And I think what we're going to find in this premise is he's setting everybody up, not eXp, but everybody else up for another lawsuit. Because Leo has figured this out and he's protecting everybody. So look at this premise. His original premise is, modified at the end, was why are listing agents involved at all on buyer compensation? I mean, should a listing agent be involved in what a buyer's agent makes? No. He's not wrong on that. I've been doing this for 30 years, and for 29 and a half of them, the listing agent determined what the buyer's agent made. And that's wrong. And it always was wrong. And so, I think he gets that point right. I think everybody agrees with that. Is it still happening today? Are listing agents still dictating or trying to dictate what buyer agents get paid? Absolutely. Thus is he Lord Nefarious? I think he is. Maybe he's figured this whole thing out. Or maybe he's going to fall ass backwards into it again. Secondly, the second thing that comes out of this is buyer agents cannot get paid unless you have an agreement with your buyer to get paid. Does that sound wrong? No, it doesn't sound wrong. That's the way it should be all along. So I think his 2 points, frankly, are actually very on point. Which circles us all the way back. Why are agents still involved in compensation? Why are we still involved in buyer-side compensation? I know we all aren't, thank God. Next Home's not, some others aren't. But what we're seeing here is the beginning of Citrix 2.0. We're going to wait 3 years, let the class build back up, and sue everybody again. And I think that's where we are. And so what we have to ask ourselves as an industry is, why would a listing agent want to waste its good faith, its capital, the goodwill, and all the effort you spend to make this seller love you? If the seller doesn't love you, he's not going to list with you. They love you, and now we're going to waste all of that. I got this seller right here loving me. Got a meeting up, palm my hands, and do whatever I say, and I say, now let's talk about how much you're going to pay the buyer side. What do you mean? Well, you got to pay the buyer agent. He's now looking at me as not not his advocate, but somebody with my hand in his pocket. And so, thank God, eXp has changed that. I don't see why we have in this industry, since the beginning of time, been doing this. Why anger your client? Why are we worried about these things? Why are we setting our seller up saying, today, your house isn't even on the MLS within 24 hours, don't forget. It's not even in the MLS, and I'm demanding you pay this unknown buyer's agent X. We haven't seen an offer, and we certainly haven't seen a net sheet, but I've made you pay X to the buyer. It makes no sense. And yet, that's what generation did in real estate. That's what we all did. You're going to pay them. And this is interesting because at the same time you had listing agents demanding their clients pay buyers, you had buyer agents who were too damn scared to even ask the buyer to commit to them. How many people, without a show of hands, showed houses without getting a buyer compensation agreement signed? And if I asked y'all to raise hands, it'd probably be every one of you. People were afraid, well, if I ask you to sign a buyer comp agreement, you get mad at me and go somewhere else. So instead, I showed you 10 houses this weekend, and then you sat next to Jane at church, and Jane gets to be your agent. Why do I do that? Because I'm selfless. Just like Baby Billy said on Gemstones. So I'm selfless. That's why I like to show people 20 houses and let one of y'all take all of the money off of me. I just like to do this for the fun of it. But also at the same time, you have the agents who you're fighting for as a listing agent to get paid are getting buyer comp agreement signed saying buyer owes them $0, I'll get all my money from the listing agent. Well, of course you will, because I just got it for you. Okay, so that's Sitzer 2.0. It's happening 3 years from now. Mark your calendars.